I'd like to call the Walmart Board of Education meeting to order. Everyone please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving into roll call, let the record reflect all board members are present. Moving into the approval of the agenda, may I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by David, discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jamie, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into our informational items, audience and citizens, we have none. Moving into our principals' reports, ECC bridge report, does anyone have any questions? All right, moving into our attendance enrollment report.
I'll just comment real briefly. You may recall last time I told you we were just a few days short of the attendance month ending, so it will be that way every month going forward for the remainder of this year. So the attendance award winner from month 5, which was just a few days after our board meeting last month, ended up being the middle school. A few percentage points, so well done, middle school. I'll just bring it over to you.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Good job, middle school. But I think here you can see everybody pretty close together there. Now, fair warning, next month is not going to be that good. So we've been struggling with the flu bug, and that is struggling is an understatement. So I only want to see what that month is going to look like. But we'll have that for you. I can probably go ahead and give you the early show in just a couple of days, but of course that will be for month 6. So that'll conclude that. Our enrollment numbers at this point are at 1873 district-wide. So, sorry, I'm kind of looking here. Looks like we're exactly where we were at the end of month 5. So we are plus and minus 0. So, other than that, that's really all I wanted to say. But each month going forward, we're just going to be like a day or two behind the close of the attendance month. Those don't actually end at the end of the month. They're every 20 days, every 20 academic days. So that's why they fall on weird days like that. But we'll always be just a couple of days behind. So next time we'll give you the attendance winner of month 6. Any questions for me? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, moving into our construction report. Does anyone have any questions? Moving into superintendent non-work days. Did everyone get a chance to review that? Moving into personnel. Everyone get an opportunity to look at that. Moving into other discussion to add freshman football 2025-2026.
Board members, I shared some information with you on Friday regarding this, and Coach Pence is here this evening to answer any questions that you may have.
Good, how are you? So I guess my only question is, do we have a team to be able to fill for freshmen?
Right now, we had 29 freshman kids who have signed up to play freshman football. We've had 21 kids who have showed up for our off-season conditioning so far, 18 consistently are there, and there 9 or 10 days already. The other 7 are actually accounted for because they are playing basketball right now. So most of them should be showing up, honestly, this week or next week. The freshman basketball just finished their season. So right now, numbers-wise, we should have at 29, and so far consistently we've had those numbers show up, and I also plan on trying to do another meeting in March to try to get a few more kids out to play freshman.
Who will we be playing, like what schools?
I actually have the schedule here. Right now, for the schedule, we would have Dixie, Bellevue, Mason County, Connor, Scott, which we played Scott last year in our freshman game, actually, so we had a lot of freshmen last year, we just had to move down to it. Beechwood, we also have Ludlow and Dayton.
And are those on Saturday mornings as well with JV, or are those?
Freshman games are mostly Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah, I've seen the attendance, or at least on through Facebook, looks like you had a lot of kids show up, which is very encouraging. We've never had a freshman program before with anything like this.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, this is just we're growing. And
Yeah, it's not uncommon to lose, if you don't have a freshman team, it's not uncommon to lose a lot of freshmen in that transition between 8th and 9th grade. There are not many 14-year-olds who want to line up to practice 5 days a week against 17 and 18-year-olds. And I've experienced that as a coach and a principal. That's a real thing. I'm optimistic with the numbers Coach Pence has shared that we would field a nice team this year, and moving forward would help us keep kids out over the long term.
But I think I think it's pretty crucial, right? I guess you do as well if we're wanting to keep that JV varsity teams, and because you mentioned a lot of those other schools, I know that seems to be a thing already across the area.
Yes, obviously, the dynamics have changed a lot in our district play in general in football from what it used to be. From 2 years ago when they redistricted, now we got Beechwood obviously in our district, they have a true freshman team. St. Henry, the private school, is joining our district this year. They're going to have a true freshman team starting next year. This year they're going to Crossbar League as they got a big 8th grade crew coming up. So I have 2 other teams in our district who are already playing freshman, will be playing freshman football. And those honestly are the 2 teams work with most like that, compete most with in our district play, because Beechwood obviously, that's what we're trying to get to. It's in Henry, being a private school. They want to be better sooner than later, so we have to take those steps to kind of be proactive, to try to keep up, and not just keep up, but grow.
Yeah. So I think it's great.
So what happens if this year we have enough to fill a team, and then next year's group comes in, we've got 8?
Well, that's part of the thing I was actually looking at this year, because I did not know exactly how many guys were going to show up. So one of the ideas I had this year was actually try to have 8th graders play up. I know Beechwood, 3 years, because I used to be the freshman head coach at Cooper. Beechwood, for about 3 years in a row, pulled all their 8th graders up to play freshman football, because obviously it's very crucial to have that freshman team. Now, they no longer have to do that because they have enough freshmen. So it's one of those things, hopefully it's one of where if we have a freshman team this year, it gets players seeing, hey, we, as a freshman team, we don't have to worry about practicing with these older guys every day, where it keeps getting more kids out. Like so far this year, I've already had parents reach out to me like, hey, my kid wasn't going to play because of that. Now we want to be able to play if there's going to be a freshman team. Just want this, so hopefully having this is going to get those numbers where it prevents us from having just 8. Looks like our middle schools have really good numbers lately too. So as long as our middle school team coaches do a good job of promoting, and I want to continually go out and promote too and meet with the kids. I like to meet with the kids in like about groups of 6 and try to just build that relationship with them too, because the more you kids get out, the better. And honestly, especially when my time as a freshman head coach, this is a time when you get kids who might never played football before, decide, you know what, I kind of want to play now. Or maybe they weren't allowed to play when they were growing up, so I know some parents don't want their kids playing until they get a little older. So having that freshman team, kids keep people that are, you know what, maybe we can go ahead and get them out. So just having that team in general should help keep those numbers high. And just because having a freshman JV in varsity, kids also get more playing time that way too. So instead of, I felt bad for our freshmen last year because practicing all together, going against our varsity kids, and having a JV game, if they play, they're still going against juniors in JV games and stuff like that. So it should help keep the numbers up and continue to help the program as well.
Are there any restrictions on the amount of eighth graders you can have on a freshman
You
team?
can have as many acres as you want, as I said, beach were literally at 4 acres up before. Now, obviously, a couple of those years when they did that, they had some not great records, but the next year there's the best team in North Kentucky because those eighth graders play first. Did you see that growth? When I had eighth graders play for me when I was a Cooper, those players grow so much quicker too, because you get that same coaching aspect as well. I know one thing I was going to do is have our varsity coaches work position-wise with some of our freshmen still before they break off and practice completely separate. Because this way they get to learn the terminology, the coaching, and then they still get that focus with themselves when they pull off separately as well with the coaches they have. So yeah, then it gets to the point where hopefully we don't have to, but that was one of those things I kind of put out there this year already because I'll be honest, I did not expect to have so many 29 kids sign up, which has been great. So it kind of made me have to go away from that where I did think it was optional a couple of acres one still, but as I said, right now we don't have to do that all year.
Coach, how many seventh graders and sixth graders did you have this year approximately in middle school?
For this past year,
Yeah,
there was, I believe,
just ballpark, I'm not trying to pin you to it.
they had like 32 kids on played on the middle school team this past year. Now that 32, I believe 17 of them were eighth graders. Whoa.
Okay.
Now, our youth program this year, our youth program was all the way through sixth grade.
Okay.
And our middle school was just 7th and 8th. So our sixth grade group was a big group. Actually, they have a big numbers coming in. And I believe a few of them won't be here because they live in our district. They might play for our youth team, but they live in our district. We expect them pretty good, big sixth grade groups coming up as well, so it could be 7th grades.
Coach, we haven't had the opportunity to meet, so thanks for coming here
I know that.
tonight. What school were you at before here?
I was at Cooper High School for 10 years before coming here, and Connor for 2, and Newport High School for 2.
Okay. In terms of the finances and funding for these things, what has been your experience with, and I don't know, and you may have to correct me, I don't know what we're allowed to do, not allowed to do in those things, but what sort of fundraisers have you seen that has worked for these programs, and what does that fundraiser money go towards, and do we have something similar here? Maybe in your experience, I would just ask you, what's your experience with fundraisers and how the money's used?
I know previous schools I went to, obviously, I'm just school these days, does golf outings. That's one thing I believe we've done here, where, I'm also looking at possibly doing that bowling outing, so something different to try to raise some more money. I know a lot of schools in Northern Kentucky above us down what we did when I was at Cooper. A lot of those schools they do something called a snap race fundraiser, which I was very sad to find out we were not allowed to do that here because that is a big money raiser for football. But it's, I guess, considered soliciting money, so it's more donation based.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of schools make about $20,000 and $30,000 just from that.
What again? What's it?
So it's just an easy fundraiser too. Because most people when they buy some, like for fundraising, you sell stuff. Most of the time, there's a card people buy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're not great, honestly. Anyway, so that's basically used to give money. So a lot of people seem to prefer that. As I said, but we're gonna do something like that. The bowling outing. Trying to think. I set up a Kroger Plus thing where people can sign up their cards.
Yeah.
Now, there was some kind of technical issue, I'm still working through the Kroger company on that, because the sign-up thing's been messed up, so I'm working on that as well right now. Because obviously football is a very expensive sport,
Yes.
and that's where the fundraising would go to, if any of you kind of mentioned what it would
Yeah.
be for. Just honestly, it all goes back to the players too, from buying a, something might be able to use for practice, to, as I said last year, I started a thing where I do a senior dinner for the players, where we took them the Paladins, I used it from the program, to our banquet that I just said doing that at the Commons, where I took them out somewhere, to the Commons to buy them jackets where they dress on game days, which seemed like a big hit. A lot of teachers and parents all kind of mentioned how much they like that too. Like if we have a playoff game, when, like this year when we have to travel 2 hours for the playoff game, we use that money to buy a charter bus instead of having to come back in the yellow bus at midnight, 1 o'clock in the night to do that, to buy the team meals too. As I said, then there's obviously a lot of other needs we can buy too. Eventually, if we get the money where an end zone camera, which people have a 5-man sled for football as well. Just there's a lot of different things as a program. A lot of those schools have that fundraising to help with more money. Because fortunately, it's all very expensive. So.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked that, because some of these, and of course, we never want to give Kevin a heart attack, but finding out what we can and can't do. And I just know football, one of my very first votes, I think when I got on the board a couple years back, was for the helmets, and I seen the price of those helmets, and my first vote, I think I was shaking that night, like, you know. So that's just why I asked, is because obviously adding more helmets, more pads, more, which I think is phenomenal, we should. But, you know, basketball has a fundraiser, you don't need helmets and pads and those things, so just kind of curious to what options we might want to have to.
Which, as I said, the school's been great in the buying the equipment stuff. It's more just now, the fundraiser would help, you know, add on to stuff, because you can't expect all that stuff for the players. That's what I'm trying to do, make things be better for players.
And then we add, I think in there, it said that coach or coaches, whatever, get a stipend as well.
One head coach, one assistant coach.
I think that's what we talked about, and those would get added during the salary schedule thing that we'll do next month or in April.
Are we fairly competitive? And I don't know what you're allowed to share, what you can't share, what confidentiality is there, but in your experience, I'll just go off of that so that I don't jam you up here, but do we seem to be, you know, fairly competitive with stipends, or if you don't feel comfortable answering that, that's
Well,
okay.
I'll kind of look at all of that stuff, because honestly, for me, like, one of the most important things I think is just having a strong staff. So I kind of look at it, and I kind of learn the hard way is, we're not too competitive when it comes to coaching side, especially when you compare it to northern like schools.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our neighbor schools, and I did research about a week or two ago, exactly. Obviously, bigger school districts, I was going anywhere, and that's, I'm never going to keep high with them. Like, right now, the county is cheapest assistants, $5,700. A lot of times they're already around $6,700. Beechwood's $5,500, or 5 assistant coaches, who's $5,500. Ludlow was at $29,000, they just do one general budget, and I guess their coach splits it up how they want. And obviously, Kenton County, I believe, the assistant head coach was $6,500, their assistant coach was $4,900 as well, so just kind of looking at, we're at $3,500 for our assistant coach, so it's one of those type of hard things where, obviously, you know, never going to be exactly match, obviously, but trying to get a little closer. I know there's a couple of coaches I tried to get here, it was interested in coming with me here, and I told them, like, okay, if you're going to make this much, it's like a $2,000, $3,000 pay cut from what I used to, and the time commitment going from basically January till November, it's just hard to justify missing that time with the family if you're taking a pay cut, so obviously, we eventually, more competitive, that'd be great, but.
Well, I just know when we start having these money questions, I mean, everything goes up, the cost of everything, including salaries, coaches, stipends, this, that, and so just thinking, you know, 5, 10 years down the road as well. So thank you for answering it, by the way. Sorry, between you and Kevin, I probably got both of you. Sorry, Kevin.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Coach, appreciate it.
Okay, we will move into our recommended board motions. First, we have the approval of the minutes for January 21st, 2025, our regular meeting. May I have a first?
Thank you.
First by David, discussion or questions? May I have a second? Second by Aubrey, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. And then approval of the minutes for January 21st, 2025, Finance Corporation meeting. May I have a first?
I will make it.
First by Jamie, discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by David, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of the superintendent's expense report. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by Aubrey, discussion or questions? May I have a second?
Second.
Second by David, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of the treasurer's report. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by David, discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jamie, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of the orders of the treasurers, the bills. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by David, discussion and questions.
I don't see any of it.
Sorry, it's on J. The treasurer bill is on J.
Did we just skip a bunch though?
3D
I went from C to the next should be pay approval of morale, then change order, then the BG one.
Oh, I'm following on.
Yeah, I'm
The
following.
computer's different, online's different than here.
I'm like, guys, me too. I was
We're
like,
using technology.
Jesus, I was like, where is it?
Yeah, the printout don't match the,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, in that case, then I can make a motion, now that I know where we are.
I was
welcome to the meeting.
like, this is not matching.
Yeah, we approved the agenda. This is what I approved it on.
Well, what we shared publicly was, correct if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
what we have on paper, right? Nicole, what we shared publicly
Yeah.
is this agenda that
Yeah.
I have on paper, so.
Okay,
Go off the paper.
yeah, okay. So scratch the approval of the bills.
Okay.
We're going to move to D, moving to the paper now. Approval of pay application 25 for Morel Construction, Walton Verona Intermediate School. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by David. Discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll say.
Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of change order 7, Walton Verona Intermediate School. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by Aubrey. Discussion or questions, or if anyone has anything to add?
No, I think everything was either Friday update or the email that Kevin sent you guys with the financial related information.
May I have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Megan, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of BG1 for Walton Verona Middle School window replacement.
I'll make it.
First by David. Discussion or questions? Yeah.
Vintage.
Anytime we get bad rain, there's water.
They're bad.
They're about 30 years old, so it's just.
They were working when we were there at the home care part. Back in the day.
It rains inside.
Long time.
May I have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Megan, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of owner-architect agreement for Walton Verona Middle School window replacement. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by Megan. Discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by David, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of BG2 and BG3 for Walton Verona Middle School window replacement.
I'll make it.
First by David. Discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll say.
Second by Jamie, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of construction documents for Walton Verona Middle School window replacement. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
First by Auburn. Discussion or questions? May I
We're
have a
still talking about the
second?
same windows, right?
Yeah. I wish there was more.
It's a lot for some windows.
Yeah.
So because of the age, we have to do something because
That's it, yeah.
the walls back in the.
It's just the order to put it in.
Do I have a second? Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of the orders of the treasurers, the bills.
I'll make it for the first time.
First by David. Discussion or questions? May I have a second? Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval to declare 3 structures on the intermediate school / athletic complex campus as surplus property in order to proceed with demolition. May I have a first?
I'll make it.
Aubrey. Discussion or questions?
Why would we get rid of the house?
I'm very hesitant to leave that structure standing with nobody living in it. Because we may end up with, who knows,
Yeah.
people, animals living, I don't know.
Or,
And then the old auto body, that's staying?
About 14.
Yeah.
That's staying.
Okay.
That's staying. We can use that.
Yeah. I don't think it says anything about the pond. What is there, and it may not be part of this at all, but is there?
We don't have any plans at this point to try to fill that in or do anything with it for the time being.
Yeah.
This is just to demolish those three structures, leave the, like I said, the auto body shop by 14 standing, as well as, I'll call it the race car garage to the
Yeah.
house, we'll leave that as well for the time being. They're both in pretty good shape.
So there, I don't think I realized there were two barns on them, another big wooden barn, so the other barn.
And one of them is leaning pretty bad.
yeah, it's falling apart.
It's just,
So there'll be, as far as remove two barns and then the house.
yeah.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by David. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of the 2024-2025 Comprehensive District Improvement Plan. May I have a first?
I'll make the first.
First by David. Discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Approval of MOU between Children's Home in Northern Kentucky Behavioral Health and Walton Verona Independent Schools. May I have a first?
Make it.
First by Jamie. Discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. First reading of revision to policy 09.224, emergency medical treatment. May I have a first?
I'll make the first.
First by David. Discussion or questions? May I have a second? Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into the approval of the field trips. May I have a first?
I'll make the
First by David. Discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Approval to enter into executive session pursuant to KRS 156.5574D and KRS 61.8101F, preliminary discussions relating to the evaluation of the superintendent. May I have the first? First by Aubrey. Discussion or questions? May I have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Megan. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. We are now entering executive session at 6:29. Yeah. Just let me know. Yeah. We will be entering into executive session. This video will be ending at this time. We will not be returning. After we come back, we will just be adjourning. Thank you.